Good afternoon and welcome to the Living Well radio program. You can find us here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. on KATB 89.3 in Anchorage, as well as KJLP 88.9 on Palmer, and you can always catch us online at katb.org. My name is Camie, and I'm always joined by my lovely co-host, Betty. Say hi, Betty.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Everybody that's listening. We
just hope somebody's listening.
We just hope somebody is. Hey, I listen every once in a while, so that's a somebody, right?
That's a somebody.
We have got such a fun show today.
Yes.
We're super excited. Betty, you make the big announcement for us.
The big announcement about our first paid guest.
Oh, that one. That announcement. Yes. We do have our first paid guest in the studio today. Hey, we do whatever it takes. Sometimes
That's right.
It takes that.
A bribe of food.
Yes.
Some candy, hot tamales.
And this time it took money.
Money.
So everybody say hi, Miss Mikylie.
Hello, everybody.
See, she says it too, everybody.
Everybody. We are joined by my own lovely daughter today. So she is here from college for a couple weeks, and we're excited to drag her into the studio today. And just to share a little bit with us about what it's like in the life of a college student and back visiting. So we're going to ask her some interesting questions that even I don't know the answers to. So we're going to put her on the spot and see what's in store. Thank you so much, Mikylie, for being here today.
Anytime.
Yes, Mikylie. It took a lot of courage, I think, to do this.
Yeah, she's been asking me, Mom, what questions are you going to ask? I was like, nobody else knows, so you don't get to know either.
You're going to be on the spot like everybody else.
I like the spotlight sometimes.
You do.
But what's our other announcement, Betty?
Our other announcement today, we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary on the air.
Woohoo!
Woo!
I bet that was really annoying to listen to.
Nah, they enjoyed it. They loved every minute of it.
It is really hard to believe that we've been doing this for a year now, isn't it? It's just
It is, especially
surreal.
when we can't find the right button
Yeah.
still.
That's incredible.
How long did it take to get us ready, Mikylie? Were you impressed by our 1 year of experience?
Oh, yes. Yes. It was insightful. The 30 minutes it took to get ready.
The 30 minutes.
I mean, at least we finally found the volume because we tried to start the show with no volume.
With no music.
No
we thought
music.
We were going to have to sing, and that would have been a great way to start the show.
Betty, I've been telling people for a year now, you have moves, and you
Moves
have a voice,
have nothing
too.
to do with music, with singing. No, you've got the moves.
Got the moves.
You've got the moves, yeah. But we finally got it started.
Yeah, we finally did. So here we are. We got it figured out. Hey, we
Do you
learned
remember how
something new
scared
every
we
time.
were when we were going to start this?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
What was Tom thinking? Taking
I was
two
really surprised
ladies
he said
who
yes when we asked him.
But you know what? He's letting us roll into another year. So.
Well, when we started this, it was just on a 90-day trial to see if anybody listened or if it was worthwhile or, if we could actually do it. And so it's been a year now.
That's right. It's super cool. I know I love it. It's so much fun getting to know people and really, fulfilling the objective of what the show is, which is to unite women through the opportunities to serve, but also be served. I mean, there is amazing resources and organizations right here in Alaska, and I have learned about so many of them through doing the radio show, and I just pray that other women listening have had the same opportunity.
And we've met some incredible women.
We have.
I mean, just wonderful women. Women that I feel like we could call friends.
Absolutely.
And we've got to meet with them outside of the studio through lunches and through ministry. We've joined them in some of their retreats and the fellowship they were having, some of their Bible studies. So it's been an incredible year.
It has. You're pretty well networked, I must say, Betty.
I tell you.
She pulls the guests in.
God's been really good, He's
been.
put women in our path that we probably never would have met any other way.
Yeah. And just the doors that's opened in other regards, and the way you've connected other individuals looking for this or that, and now you know about this person looking for this need or able to fulfill a need. I mean, it's just awesome what you've been able to do through having the radio show and meet these people.
One of the most incredible things I think that happened was when we met Nadia from Switzerland.
Oh, my goodness.
We never would have had that opportunity. And Mikylie, you got to meet her also, didn't you?
I did. She was at the Bible study I went to. Got to hear her story. It was amazing.
Yeah, she was a great young lady, but that never would have happened.
Yeah.
The networking I love, connecting people here and there and putting them together. So
In
it's-
fact, that's a great lead in to one of my first questions or just first comments is because when you met Nadia, you were still Mikylie and kind of just in search of what the next step was for you. Here you are finishing up high school and stepping into the next season of life of attending college, and hearing her story and what she did is what kind of put you on the path. So why don't you share a little bit about that?
Well, I went to Guatemala beginning of the summer, and that was the start of choosing what career that the Lord had for me. And that's when I discovered nursing. My mom always had the medical field in mind for my life, but of course the schooling was way too hard for me to even think of. But after that trip, I came in contact with so many nurses, and specifically traveling nurses. And when I heard Nadia's story about how she was a nurse and was able to connect her on that level, and just hear more of an insight and personal story of what a nurse actually became and what she did. So that's just set in stone that maybe the Lord had this in mind for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've always just thought it was such a great fit for you because you love people. And I know a lot of people say that, but generally that is what lights up your life. And you combine that with the ability to help them. And then also, that just, it's a bridge to being able to travel. And so I think it's just a great fit for some of the things that you want to experience in life. So it's cool to see you started on that path.
Agreed. Hard, but got it.
Yeah.
Did you have a chance to talk with Nadia?
I did for a few minutes. But everyone was really interested in her story. She told me some cool nursing stories, and that if the Lord really had me on this path, that I was going to be able to achieve it, no matter how hard the program was.
Mm.
And so what is your ultimate goal?
To become a traveling nurse. My hope and dream is to be able to spend some time in the U.S., work up some money as a nurse, and then go overseas to third world countries and hopefully back to Guatemala and help out the doctor who I got to know personally.
You want to go see Jorge, don't you?
I do. My
Tell
little baby
everybody
boy.
about Jorge. That's such a fun story.
Jorge is a little boy sponsored on the last day of being in Guatemala, and I was able to meet him just before he left home, and I'd never see him again, but he's 4 years old. He loves to play soccer, and he is absolutely so adorable. I write to him, and he draws me pictures and sends them to me in the mail, and it would be awesome to see him again.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's so sweet. The trip to Guatemala really made an impression on your life.
It turned my life around. Definitely did.
What was the most meaningful thing that happened when you were in Guatemala?
Most meaningful thing was seeing how these people had close to nothing, but were willing to give us everything, even if that meant their loaf of bread that they only had for a week or a month, and they were willing to give us the last bit of it just because they were just so hospitable. And even if they didn't have teeth, they still had the biggest smiles on. So that was really funny.
And you did some hard work while you were there.
Definitely. We built up a clinic, as well as we dug a hole for a sewage pipe for a lady's home, her dream home, which is just consisting of one room and a porch. And that was her dream home. We were able to help her achieve that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It really is. I think we just hear stories about these kinds of experiences. I can't even imagine because I've not done it myself, what it must be like to go over there and be the hands and the feet, literally.
Mm.
And then so many sponsor children. I think that's such an awesome thing. But I have to admit, even I've had my skepticism about that. Like, what does that really look like on the other side of things? But since Mikylie experienced that and got to see and meet the little boy and hug him, it just brings a whole different perspective to what those funds actually do. So it was really cool.
Is that what spurred you on to leaving the state to go to school?
It did. I heard about Liberty's nursing program, and after the Lord had tugged my heartstrings all summer long to become a nurse and finally make that decision, Liberty just felt like it was a good fit. And everyone at ABT talks about Liberty, and it just felt like it was a well-rounded, trusted Christian foundation for me to go to, and that was really important to me to stay in ministry, or at least stay in a Christian atmosphere. And so my only option was Liberty, and I absolutely love it there. But I love home more.
So you've been home now for Christmas. What's it been like?
It's been so much fun, be able to see my siblings again and be with the family again and get back in the routine of just being home. I was homeschooled my high school years, and so home has always been really home for me.
Mm-hmm. Was it different
Coming home,
coming home?
very different. More like I was expected to be an adult, and so I had to live up to that expectation, and it's been good. Yes.
Are you ready to go back to school?
I am ready for my nursing classes because I'm really excited about those, but other than that, I'd rather stay here.
And do what?
Hike.
Oh, hike.
It's going to be below 0 the next couple of nights. You know that, don't
Oh,
you?
I love the snow. Lynchburg is so hot. I'm a Smo, an Eskimo. I can't live in that hot weather any longer.
Is it even hot there now?
It is hot enough. The minute that degree goes down, the buildings warm up like Hawaii.
Oh,
So,
goodness. I would miss the cool weather too, but
mhm.
I've got to admit, it's been awfully cold, and so I'm pretty
has
tired of
been.
the cold right now.
Mhm.
I could handle some of the hot, warm weather.
Thank you. Well, you're headed out for some, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. I can hardly wait.
You're going to go outside for a hike, right, Betty? And when it gets a little bit warmer?
Well, Mikylie, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Mikylie, did your family look a little different when you came back? Did you think
Oh.
after 4 whole months of not seeing them? I mean, what?
Something changed. I think they started working for Santa for around Christmas time because when I arrived at the airport, they were all dressed up in elf outfits with the hats and everything, and everyone in the airport had their eyes on them and then me. So I was definitely in the spotlight.
I love your description of what was going through her mind as she rounded the corner. She's like, what are those people doing in all those Christmas outfits? Oh, my word, that's my family.
I got on Snapchat and everything.
I loved the pictures. I loved when your dad came running towards you.
Mhm.
I thought for a minute you were going to go the other way.
Oh, I tried. I was trying to make it funnier, but he grabbed me, picked me up, and there it is. I'm on everyone's Facebook.
He was the guy from Elf. What's his name?
Buddy.
Buddy the Elf.
Yes.
I thought that was hilarious. But I think that Caden, he deserves something, for what he did.
What,
his
Betty?
part.
What does he deserve?
I don't know. He needs to deserve something special, something good.
Tell you what, that is one of the most obedient 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds. Is he 15
He's
or 14?
15.
Oh, my goodness, I'm losing track.
To do what he did, to greet his sister.
Mhm.
I hope Santa was very, very good to him.
Yes, he was, I think. I think he got it made up too. But until he had to get in it one more time, that was about the end of it.
I don't blame him.
We have tucked those suits away until next year.
I think you all should open a business.
We're thinking about it. We're thinking about
greeting people or welcoming people into Alaska.
But I think the only fun part is if you know the crazy people. So I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know. That's funny no matter what.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think those big guys are the ones that make it funny.
What was funny was watching Buddy try to go up the escalator.
Pull his hamstring.
Yes.
He's still paying for that.
It was funny. I thought it was a great greeting.
We had
It's
fun.
memorable.
Yes, very. You won't forget it. You'll be wondering what they're going to greet you in.
I'll be expecting
Yeah, how
something
are we
bigger and
going to
bigger.
top that? See, now we've set ourselves
Swimsuits and
up.
bikinis.
Oh,
Oh my
my
gosh.
word.
Beachbody.
We better hit the workouts. Could you imagine? I just have a visual. I need to turn the channel.
She might would turn around and go back. No.
So, just in closing, Mikylie, how does it look for you the next 3.5 years as you finish up? Kind of, is that daunting to you, or are you encouraged to get through it?
All I know is that my last nursing exam, the Lord took full control. I had to memorize 280 nursing terms. I could barely pronounce them, let alone memorize them, but the Lord got me an A. And so that is just a huge sign to me that He will get me through a nursing program, no matter how many stories I hear about how hard it is or how many people cry during it. So it's encouraging to know that this is the plan He has for me, and that no matter how hard I think it's going to be, He'll get me through it the next 3 years.
I also think I want to ask you, just in case, I think that parents would find this encouraging that might be listening as well as other young people, but what was it like for you as you transitioned to essentially living on your own, and now you have some freedoms that maybe you didn't have before? How do you keep yourself in check with, having good boundaries, having good schedule, time management, just all of those things that come with living on your own? What was that like for you as you transitioned into that?
While transitioning, I made sure that I was involved in ministry and leadership and just being within the community, because that is where my heart lies. And so right away I got involved with my hall, and I was put on leadership to lead a Bible study once a week and meet with my girls. And with that comes accountability with the RAs, who are the people that look over me, and as well as the girls on the hall. And so I was able to have accountability with them and Bible studies with them, and just being able to stay on the right path, as well as learning how to time management from them who have been in school for 2 years or more. So it's definitely a learning experience. I learned from my first semester what needs to be fixed next semester for my grades to improve. And so I'll definitely improve much more next semester.
Well, it sounds like you're doing well.
It sounds like it. We'll see how it goes.
It is a big transition, and I've even told her that. I said, and Dad has said the same thing. Look, we're having a family conversation here, but just to be a little bit easy on yourself that first year as you transition and get used to it. So don't be too hard on yourself. But next year, you better get it together.
That's the plan.
No, I think you're doing just fine. Well, thank you so much. I think we've said that a few times, but we keep talking to you. But we appreciate you stopping by the studio today and letting us chat with you very much.
Anytime.
And the check's in the mail.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll be checking for that.
Yeah, be sure and do that.
Which mail? College mail or this mail?
The snail
we're-
mail.
Yeah.
Snail mail.
We're sending it very slowly.
Very slowly.
That way, hopefully, it's good by the time it gets to you.
Do you have a good trip home? And we'll be anxious to see you May.
Yes.
In May.
I'll be so excited to come back.
We'll be
Bye,
excited to see
Mikylie.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
So, Betty,
Yes.
you mentioned a little bit about Nadia. That was kind of one of your most memorable guests. What else, as you reflect on this last year, what is it that comes to mind?
Well, I think one of the things is how much we have learned to enjoy this. We're not near as intimidated as we were at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We're much more comfortable just chatting. And I think all the guests end up having a really good time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we have had some really horrific stories shared on here, and it's really hard to make those fun, so to speak, like Ruth McElway's story.
Right.
And Bo that was here that shared her story. You can't make light of those. I mean, those were horrific years for these ladies. And we've had some very entertaining guests. I think Heidi Ober from Family Life, she was one of the ones. She just talks and talks and talks, and we have a good time with her. And so the past year, I think we've grown in that we're more comfortable in doing this. We look forward to it. We're always looking for women to be on the show, women we can talk to, but we're also getting comfortable if it's just you and I,
Yes.
just chatting. I know a lot of women have said they would like for us to discuss topics, and that's something that we're considering.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. I think it's exciting to think about what might develop over the next year and what changes might occur and the growth that the Lord might have in mind. And
Well, I never dreamed that we'd be on the radio. When I first approached Tom with it, I really thought he would say, "Are you out of your mind?" But he didn't. And so he has a lot of plans for us.
does he now?
Yes, he does. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks, where we go from here, and what God does with this. We're hoping this year to maybe be at the Woman's Show,
Yes, that will be so much fun.
Maybe.
I'm really looking forward to that.
broadcasting live. We have never done that.
Yeah,
Hasn't stopped us before.
that's right.
So we've talked about doing that, and we're going to be attending some conferences here in town, as ourselves, but like interviewing people,
Yes.
interviewing women. So I'm really excited about that. Looking forward to it.
Yes, that is
So-
going to be so much fun.
I think so too.
Well, and I think what I love about this and was just so neat how the Lord brought this opportunity to us is I tend to be one of those kind of people that just loves to ask questions naturally, but I think that can freak people out because I have a hard time talking about the weather and where you live and things like that. I just really want to get to people's story. And I never imagined I would be able to utilize that gift in this kind of venue, but I absolutely love it. And so now people come knowing that's what's going to happen. So it's perfect venue for me. I don't even have to ease into it. We can just go right for it.
And we don't have to worry about what we look like.
No. Oh, isn't that the best part?
Of course, I hear that might be changing a little bit.
We still don't have to worry though.
No, that's true. That's true. So everybody that's listening will just have
In
to wait and
fact,
see.
Those Snuggies, they can cover a lot of things.
Our blankets do too. We have learned to bring water for everybody, and or to have gum or something, and blankets
Yes.
for when we get really, really cold in here.
Very well prepared.
We try to be. We try to be all the time.
Sometimes a cowbell.
Sometimes the phone will ring.
Yes.
Sometimes we can't find our music.
I think Tom's trying to get us to take his phone calls. He's confused about what our role is in here.
we'll have to explain that to him a little bit.
So I want to ask you, our last show we talked a little bit about, I don't know that we talked a lot about New Year's resolutions necessarily, but we talked about having a word. I can't remember, did you share what your word was going to be, or did you share what your word was last year?
I shared what my word was last year.
Did you think of one for this year?
That is so funny that you would ask that, because yes, I do have a word, and I've been real hesitant to share it because it seems
Nobody's listening.
nobody's listening.
I think there's two people that have two names. One of them is called Everybody, and one of them is called Nobody. That's who's listening, okay?
We had Alaska Christian Women. We do a bi-monthly luncheon for women that are in women's ministry, and we had it today. And we were talking about having a word for the new year, and I didn't share mine. I didn't bring it up because it is, when I tell you, you're going to go, what? And so at the end, I was talking to a couple of ladies, and they asked me if I had a word, and I said, yeah. And they wanted to know what it was, and I told them, and they didn't laugh. So, and I've been questioning God about this. I said, are you sure? I said, this is just so strange to me. But I'm positive this is the word he wants me to focus on this year.
Really? Are you going to unveil it?
My word is lion, Lion.
Lion.
Mm-hmm.
You
Lion.
must tell us more.
I was reading a book, and I came across a statement that said, in the Bible, there's a verse that talks about this. Satan is as a lion, roaming the earth, seeking who he may devour. And then the author went on to say, but remember that he is as a lion. He's like a lion, but we know the true lion, the Lion of Judah, and he is the lion. And that has just stuck with me. And I can't, I was sharing all this with my daughter, and she said, Mom, she was telling me about a meeting that she went to in Florida with Priceless, and she said one of the speakers was talking about a lion, and he said that lions know each other, know their ages and their size by their roar. And a lion can be 5 miles away and begin to roar, and another lion will hear him and know the age of the lion or the strength or the size of this lion, and will back off whatever he's doing because the lion that is roaring is older and wiser and bigger. And she said, so Mom, all that our lion, the Lion of Judah, has to do is roar, and Satan has to leave.
Wow.
And I thought, wow. So then several weeks ago, I was in Seattle, and I was doing some shopping, some Christmas shopping, and one of my son-in-laws loves to read, so I knew it was going to be at Lifeway, and I bought him some books and for Christmas. And of course, we opened our gifts, and he loved it. And he's already read this one particular book, and I asked him, I said, can I borrow it? And he said, sure. And he gave it to me, and I said, well, I'm not going to have time to read it because I'm going to be out of town. He said, well, just go ahead and keep it. And I said, all right. And I've still, for the past several days, struggled with this word lion, because it just seems so strange to me that would be my word. And and I found that the book has been laying on my counter all this time for the past week or so, and I picked it up and I read the title of it, and I thought, Betty, come on. And guess what the title of the book is?
You must have the word lion in it.
Chase the Lion. And I thought, I need to read that now.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's my word for the year. I have no idea where God's going to take me with it or what he's going to show me, but I'm confident I'm going to learn a lot. So I'm going to learn everything I can about a lion. I'm going to look up all the verses in the Bible about a lion. Maybe even the lion crusher. There's a verse that says we'll be lion crushers. So that's my word.
Awesome. I love it. What a great word.
Do you have one?
I do. And you know what's funny about this word is I did this about 5 years ago. I had this same word, and I felt this word come back up for me again this year, and I thought, no, I've already done that. I want a new word. but I can't get rid of it, and it's because I haven't mastered it yet. So here I am 5 years later, and I'm going to do the same word of calm.
Calm.
Yes. So
Obviously,
wait a minute, Betty.
there's obviously something you need to learn.
No, what I'm laughing at is the contrast of a roaring lion.
And calm
How,
spirit.
how are we going to do this together?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Okay. Boy, this is going to be a wild year.
Isn't it?
While you learn about a lion and I try to find some calm.
You're going to calm me down. That's what it is. Should be interesting.
It should be.
I'm excited. I'm anxious to see the journey. I'm anxious to see what I learn.
Yeah. And, anybody out there that is listening, we would love for you to visit our Facebook page at Living Well Radio and tell us what your word is. What did you choose this year? We're 18 days into the year, and how is it going for you? Let's share in our community. Let's encourage each other. Let's provide accountability. It's one thing. In fact, I almost shared this with our girls' class last week because we were talking about New Year's resolutions, and I thought, there's really something to this. Sometimes it's difficult to wrap your mind around a whole resolution. But if you pick a word, it's just amazing how God will keep revealing himself to you through that word and just refining you and changing you and transforming your mind around that word.
It gives you some focus.
It does. That's exactly it. Yes.
So that everything that I am going to be reading or studying will be focusing on a lion.
Well, I can't wait to hear about. I'm going to have you sharing with me what you're learning. It's going to be enlightening. No doubt about it.
Yep, one way or the other, it will be.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So what do you see for Living Well in the coming year, Camie? What are you looking forward to?
I think our ideas of some people might think this sounds strange just because we are in Alaska. Sometimes it can take things a while to catch on up here, but you and I both know that in some other podcasts and shows that we're following that they've started filming them right here. We're sitting here doing radio, but putting a camera to it, not to make it a production, but just to simply put a face behind the voice. So we might give that a shot, and I think that could be awesome. Be scary, like you said, a little bit intimidating because we can't sit here and scratch our nose, or can we? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. People...
We'll be wrapped up in our blankets, have our coffee,
yeah,
have our water.
Yeah, and we might be moving studios.
We might be.
To something a little bit bigger to just accommodate the cameras and the additional setup that's going to require. But I think it's so exciting to be on this endeavor. What a wild ride, Betty. You have that effect on people. You take people on your wild lion roaring ride.
A bossy lion?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm going to be?
I was waiting. I was going to say that, but you said it. So,
we've talked to a lot of women, Camie, and you've asked them a lot of questions. What do you think about sometimes changing the format, of doing topics like the women have requested? What do you think about that?
I think it brings me back to something that you shared off air. And I don't think you'd mind me sharing this. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it. But, I think when you and I start conversating about topics, I think that Satan just likes to creep up on your shoulder and bring you doubt about what you know. And it's not even about knowing something. It's just about having dialogue about topics. And so I think that's probably a fear of mine is I just would never want to come across like, hey, this is something that I've mastered and this is what I know. But I do want everything that I say and share to be, scripturally based. And so I think that presents a challenge. But I look forward to it.
Yeah, I think that probably in the coming year we will try some of those. And I share the same fear. We have talked about it before, of saying the wrong thing, or just clamming up, being afraid to say anything. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We will see what happens with the year. But I know I'm excited, looking forward to it.
Well, you know what we'll do? Because I can't just stop asking questions. I just can't. So what we hope to do, and I'm just thinking this out loud at the moment, is transition the questions to our listening audience. Maybe there'll be a way to do that and get some more interaction on our Facebook page and hear from the women. Ask them the questions about the things that we're talking about, and let's try to build that community and get engagement.
That would be a lot of fun.
Wouldn't it?
A lot of fun. It would be very interesting, and it would be very relative to what we're doing, I think, to hear what the community has to say.
Yeah. Yep.
and reaching more women that way.
Yes, and I think that I think what is so awesome is that, we're just here local, and all of the women that we bring on are local, and so you can listen to resources that are on the computer or somewhere else, but we're here. We love the women right here in our own state. We want to love on you, those that are listening, and so we just look forward to being able to do more of that in the coming year.
That's right.
We have run out of time, Betty.
We probably have gone over.
Somehow we've managed to fill 30 whole minutes.
Oh, wow. Good for us.
Yeah, yeah.
We never seem to have a problem talking
We don't.
once we get started.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank everybody for joining us today for another Living Well radio program. You can catch us here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. on KATB 89.3 in Anchorage, as well as KJLP 88.9 in Palmer. And you can always catch us online at katb.org or at our Facebook page at Living Well Radio.